Okay, guys. Well, it's 11. It's 11:40. Lisa's drinking a Sprite Zero.
Lisa's full of pumped up with chemicals, as she loves to be. Well, we're back for our second episode.
I know we've kind of been on a hiatus. Life caught up with us, and we were so fucking busy. Like when you have businesses, life, relationships, and like, you know, it's hard as hell. But we're back, and we are gonna be committed to this because another fucking commitment. Does this mean we have commitment issues?
Raise your hand if you have commitment issues. I think it's showing. I think we are red flags. You know what I mean? Like, I think we are red flags.
I mean, everyone has a fucking red flag. But okay, so what we want to do, and we haven't, to be candid, we haven't really like come up with a name with it yet. But we both have gone through insane types of breakups, and like so many different types. But at the very end of the day, like we all kind of have the same feelings, and we want to do like some sort of like breakup conversation every breakups. And today specifically, I've been taking questions from like that I get on TikTok or like my DMs, because you guys wouldn't believe, like literally, Lisa, they're all the same questions. I get like hundreds, and they're all the fucking same. So like us.
So clearly, we need to talk about
it. Literally. Okay. Yeah. So do you want to? I wanted to kick off the episode with a question of that I think is so relatable. But it says the guy that I'm seeing is still on Hinge, or like let's say any dating app, and updating his profile. What the fuck do I do?
Okay, so it's, bro, you know what it is? We complicate everything, and it's really not that complicated. Listen to me. If you're seeing this guy, obviously we don't have all the details, right? Like we don't know like how long you've been seeing each other, what you guys have talked about, what you haven't talked about. It doesn't even matter though, because if he's still on Hinge, which is fine if he weren't updating it, but if he's updating that shit, it's because he wants, like he's trying to make it look good. He's clearly talking to other people. So that's what it means. It means he is speaking to other people. You are not the priority, and you should probably do the same thing. And if it's really bothering you and you want to be exclusive, then fucking say something. If it's been a while, like if you've gone out with him once and he's still on Hinge, like good, he should be. I would be as well. Yeah. See, that's the thing. That's why like timeline is important. Yeah. But if she said like I've been seeing this guy, then I'm assuming it's been like multiple times.
Yeah. Let's say like 3 or 4 dates.
I mean, I still think that's early. Like I still think that's early.
Too. Wait, I have a whole different perspective.
Okay.
Okay. Firstly, if you saw this happening, you were also on the apps.
Right. And you're checking on him, which means you like him a lot, which means you're sabotaging yourself already.
Exactly. Like there's so
let it go. Who cares what he's doing?
So like also too, like when you said you overcomplicated, 100% agree. Like it could be so fucking innocent.
Yeah. And I think like I would worry less about what he's doing on Hinge.
100%.
And worry more about like what the fuck are you up to lately, and like enjoy your dates. Take inventory of how you feel after you guys hang out. But also, if you're being this like, if you're so zoned in on him and focused on him, might I suggest speaking to other people as well? Because it really does help you be like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Sometimes, I mean, I don't know, that's worked for me in the past, but that's what I would say.
I think, I agree. I think also too, like, when you like meet somebody, you're like all in. Like you are like, okay, that is the person.
We get excited. We get excited.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're checking up on like what he's doing on Hinge, I would first ask yourself that question. Why did you feel the need to check on if his location is changing?
And listen, we've all done it.
I know.
Like we've all done it. I fucking done it too. But like now knowing what I know, I wouldn't do that shit. No. I wouldn't do it. And if I were speaking to somebody and I saw that he was updating his shit, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, it's like that TikTok trend where it's like when one of his friends posts a story, it's like, give it to me, baby, like boom, boom.
Yeah. Like and she's like examining it.
Yeah. That's kind of like what it is. Like when you're looking for something, you're gonna find it.
You're gonna find it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so consensus is that
don't complicate it so much.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about what the fuck he's updating on his Hinge app. Enjoy your dates with him. See how you feel.
Also, like if you don't want to be on the app, then you can get off of it, right? And
Yeah.
then when he feels that connection too, he'll make that decision on his own time. Like there's no need to force it to happen.
Right.
And there's also
Right.
nothing wrong with like being on the app still. Like what if he's not even active? I mean, I guess he was if he was updating his stuff.
No, I think most people, if they are on the app, especially a guy, like if he's on the app, like he's looking for attention, validation, interaction, sex, whatever it is. Like he's not just on there like, let me just change this picture real quick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I actually don't like the way I look at that one. Let me change it up. Like, no, he's doing it for a reason. And it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I would
Yeah.
say.
I think we overcomplicate it. Let it be easy. Let it like enjoy it. I enjoy the beginning because like those butterflies and those like
Yeah.
you know that fireworks.
You know that meme that's like the beginning stages of dating is so fun. It's so lit. Butterflies and lies.
That's literally.
Sorry guys, I just had COVID, so I still have this horrible fucking cough.
I think that's
Next one.
I think that's
Yeah.
a good response. Okay. The next question is okay, we wanted to talk about red flags because fuck, like I literally ignore them. I am like
Yeah, you do.
he's in front of me waving it. He's like, Emily, I have red flags. And I'm like, no, you don't. It's fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you also have experienced not recognizing red flags.
No, seeing them, but also, well, both. I think seeing them, being like, okay, but then also not seeing a fuck ton of them.
Bro, I didn't even see them. So, okay.
Yeah.
What are some red flags that you've noticed that you know now that you didn't notice back then that maybe someone who's listening can like recognize it? And also, guys, don't overthink it. Like, don't try to like find the red flags now, but like just pay attention to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't know how, like, I can list the red flags that I now can see from the last situation I was in, but also I don't know how helpful that is because, like, it was, I think, very like that's a very, like, again, I think what I just experienced, I don't think that's the
More.
rule. I think I was like the exception. Like I was in some gnarly ass shit, which like I don't think happens all, I mean, actually it does happen frequently, but my point is what I'm trying to say, yeah, I'll tell you like the things that I noticed.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest fucking red flag, honestly, was I felt things. I knew things. I could feel something was fucking off in in multiple instances, and I was still just like, no, 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 no. And that's the biggest fucking one.
But how do you, someone listening to this, how do you distinguish between intuition and ego? Because like, what if that was just like your anxiety talking, and you're just like, okay, anxious thoughts, or were you like, this doesn't feel like anxiety, it feels like something is wrong, but I'm just gonna label it as anxiety.
So I've done both, and I think honestly, I have two things to say about that. One, my therapist said this to me, and it made a lot of sense. But she said like, your intuition shows up at the scene first. It's the first thing that bubbles up in your mind, and then we get clouded with thoughts, anxiety, whatever it may be, right? Also, your intuition is usually calmer. It's not like yelling at you. Like your anxiety is usually like very accelerated and amplified and intense, right? Again, with as somebody with an anxiety disorder, it is hard sometimes to tell the difference.
Yeah.
But that's where my second point comes in, where it's like, I'm gonna tough love my bitches out there because you fucking know, dude.
Yeah.
You fucking know.
Yeah.
I excused so many things as like, I'm just being anxious. No, I knew. I fucking knew. But I didn't want to let go yet, which is a whole other story. That's fine. You can be in that, you can exist in that space as long as you know, like, I know that something is off and I know that I don't like this, but I'm like choosing to like stay in this right now, which is what I did.
No, I think we all do that. And I think you're right. I think like,
but you know, bitches are lying. You guys are lying to yourselves, and I did it too, but you fucking know.
Yeah. But you can stay in it for another like what? Couple months, 6 months, maybe a year, but the cycle's gonna keep repeating. Okay, also another thing too about red flags that I think you had the same one as I did, and this is like a tangible red flag, not like an intuition feeling, is that if he or she is always on their phone, something is wrong. Lisa was dating someone for a couple months. I was dating someone for years. They both had that red flag.
But let me tell you something. I think mine is worse because my guy wasn't even on social
Yeah,
media.
yeah,
So what in the fuck are you doing on your
yeah,
phone? Tell me that. Your guy at least was and was very active at that,
yeah.
right? Like
Still not okay.
homeboy,
I'd be like,
no, still not okay. But homeboy didn't have. I checked his phone. I mean, I didn't check. I'm not. I mean, I am crazy, but like, I didn't check his phone. I just couldn't believe him. I think it was on our first date actually that I was like, I don't believe you that you don't have like
social media.
LinkedIn, Instagram. Like, I don't believe you. And he was like, literally went like this, flipped his phone, and like, whatever the fuck, showed me everything. And I'm like, holy fuck, like, literally does not even have the apps. Like, first date. Why is he lying to me on the? I mean, he was lying to me on the first date, but anyway. Yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah, and also too, like, it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be a red flag with the phone situation. Doesn't mean like another person or like a third party situation.
Right.
Like for me, it was just like the lack of the connection in the relationship. That to me was red flag. I'd be like, "Hi, like, do you want to talk?" And he'd be like, "Can't you see them? I'm working, and then it'd be like videos, like fucking reels. You know what I mean?
I was laughing when you said that because you were like, oh, it doesn't have to be a third party. Like for me, it was a third and fourth, a third, fourth, and fifth party. Like,
Literally,
you
literally.
know what my biggest red flags aside from like the biggest one of like just knowing in my head like, what are you doing, bro? Like this is not it. This is so complicated. This is so messy. Like, and you know what? At the beginning, it's fine when you're like exploring something and I hung I held on at the beginning
Yeah.
because I had never met someone so genuine, I thought. Like so kind, so genuine, right? So that to me was worth it. But I was like, I know there's a fuck ton of baggage here, but I'm just gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
That's fine. But then towards the end, once I started to feel like dead ass, like, wow, I don't feel okay. I feel uncomfortable. I feel like my gut is yelling at me. Like I feel something's off. Ignoring that is the biggest disrespect to myself, right?
Mm.
Aside from that and the phone thing, the biggest ones that now like stand out to me, it's like always, so he didn't live in my city. And always it was him coming to me. Like it was never like, oh, let me come there. Like it was only once that I did go there, but it was very strategized and planned out and like it was very early on. So I think that's why he got away with it, right? If you guys can pick up already, he had like a fuck ton of other women in his life. Um,
Ugh,
who has that kind of time? I don't know. But
not
so,
him. I didn't think.
and then the other biggest one was, which again, I didn't see as a huge red flag because I was like, oh wow, that's so nice. But it was like, anytime I was even 1% upset, I had a fucking food delivery at my door or like whatever the fuck. Like,
Yeah.
it's so crazy when you get out of something and you're like, wow, how the fuck did you not see that?
Right.
On our first date, I don't know if I told you this. He was like, oh, I love your bag. I don't know what bag I was wearing. And I was like, oh, I'm obsessed with purses. And he just like sat there silent. And he was like, what if we go and I buy you a purse tomorrow?
Fuck off.
First fucking time me hanging out with him. Like, that is not okay. That is not okay. That is some Tindler
He's like
swindler
he's like
shit.
trying to buy your love. That's a red flag in itself.
Right. But in my head, I'm like,
Yeah. It's
whoa.
not the
I said
gestures.
no.
It's not the gestures that are red flags. It's
But the timing,
yeah. It's the buying
it's
of the love. It's the buying of the love. That you can tell that's what he's used to is I think Jay Shetty said this. That's how he showed love before his wife. He would like buy girls things, women things, buy bags, buy shoes, buy dinners.
to me, that's one of my love languages. I like to give people
Yeah, yeah.
things. But I'm not meeting some random person and the second time we hang out, me being like, "Do you wanna?" But like, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Where do I
that
find one
happens
of
with
those?
time.
No, I would definitely think that's a red flag for sure. For sure. But
Yeah,
also too, like, what did you want him to do? Like, say it with his words instead? Yeah.
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 Maybe just like not have a girlfriend and wife. Like maybe even just like that would have been more than enough. Like that would have
Oh
been
my god.
fine.
Okay, I think also another red flag for someone who's like in a deeper committed relationship is like not inviting you places.
Bro, that's like basic.
Like
Are you fucking kidding
I
me?
was never invited to places, and other girlfriends were there, and I'm like, what? I could
Yeah.
have easily.
No, but that's not a red flag. To me, that's a deal breaker.
I know. But when you're in it, you're like, oh, he wants his guy time, but then guy time happens so often, and then there's girls there, and you're like, what? Or what about like social media? because I think that's like such a huge conversation about like if they have it, if they don't have it, and like what type of profile that you want. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say I would not, but at this moment in my life, I probably will not date anybody who's active on social media. If you're an influencer, if you're a blogger, if you're some sort of person with like a profile, I most likely will not be dating you. I can't.
So like, what if I'm just saying, what if you meet an incredible fucking guy and he happens to be an
I don't
influencer?
think I
Are
could do
you
it.
immediately going to be like, nope?
Yeah,
Okay, well that's you. I like I don't have a I'm not like for or against either of them. I just feel like the only thing I think about this is once we are dating and like if I'm posting you or whatever, if that person is active, does post their life and is not sharing you whatsoever, that's a red flag to me.
absolutely.
If that person doesn't post shit, never does anything, has it there but has 3 fucking pictures with 8 likes on them, then fine, whatever. You know what I
Just
mean?
want like a normal human who like posts for his like friends and family. Maybe has a private profile and posts like dog photos and like
Honestly,
family.
a private profile makes me wanna like that makes me so
I
excited.
would like
Like,
love nothing more than someone with a
yeah.
private profile, maybe a couple hundred followers, and post like his actual like life. Like maybe there's a couple of photos of us, photos with his friends. Like
No, I've always said this, and to me, there's nothing hotter than a man with a weak Instagram game. Like, if your gram looks better than mine,
there's
I
a
am scared.
problem. There's a problem. I'm not about that. So you do agree with me?
No, because you're saying you would never even consider dating somebody that maybe is active. I'm not saying that. Do I prefer the latter? Yeah. But I wouldn't be like, no. Bro, you think Michael B. Jordan comes up and I'm gonna be like, no?
Absolutely, I would say no. That man would cheat on you in a second.
Okay. I mean also him and Lori Harvey are so fucking
Like,
perfect. I think I need to like the next person that I date, like I need to feel okay expressing like my feelings and it not becoming a big deal.
oh my god.
Like I need to be able to have a conversation with you because I'm very like and I think we're both like this. Like we're both deep bitches.
Yeah.
Like we like to talk about we're not like so babe, how's the weather over
No,
there? Like we're not talking about
no.
that.
And I need to talk about a problem in the moment because I do not want it to escalate into something else.
Yeah. So I think for
Communication.
me it's like I want to make sure that like I also am a very anxious being. And sometimes again, I think like with this last guy, I felt like I needed so much fucking reassurance, obviously, because I was in a situation that was not good for me. And like I could feel that. So that's why I was like, fuck, I need like even more than normal. But I think on a like a normal in a normal healthy environment, which like I don't know what that feels like. I feel like I do maybe need more reassurance than the average person, at least at the beginning, just because I am fucking anxious.
Yeah,
And that might not be like not everybody might want to do that, which is fine, right? But
right
like
person will.
to me that would be I guess not a red flag, but I think it's more just like about the communication.
Yeah,
Like I think that is fucking huge because I think without that it's like, bro, that's 50% of it. Like you have to be able to talk about shit and like
yeah. I
empathize and like and hear each other out and not just like listen but like actually
yeah,
hear what they're
yeah.
saying.
I think that's huge. Like one of a red flag that I've noticed too, in like as I date, is like someone who like shuts down the conversation right away. It's like as soon as there's a conflict,
Yeah.
like does not know how to communicate and is like,
Yeah.
nope, conversation's done. It's done. We're not talking about this anymore. Like I will come to you when I'm ready, which is like not really fair, you know? So like I think with my personality too, because I like to talk like right away, sure I can give you a couple of hours, but if you're going days and like you're shutting it down and being defensive right away, I don't think that's emotional maturity,
Right.
which is something I always go
Agreed.
back to. It's like being emotionally mature, right? Okay, speaking of communication, last question. So,
I love your phone
oh,
case.
thanks.
So cute.
Going to commitment. So the question was, how do I ask for commitment without asking for commitment?
Here's how you do it. You don't fucking ask. You say. You say what you
Yeah.
want. Like, you say, hey, I don't fucking know. You say, I really like you. Having such a good time with you. I want to be in an exclusive
Mhm.
situation. I want to date you.
Mm,
Like, it's that fucking
yeah.
simple. That person will tell you everything you need to
Okay,
know.
but also,
But
yeah,
asking, you're giving them the key to decide what happens. Where it's like, why? You know what you want, so express that. And if somebody wants to be in your life and a man that wants to be in your life, they're not like, if they want to be in your life, they will fucking be in your life.
I agree. But I also think too that when you okay, I'm like obsessed with Abraham Hicks. So, and she talks about your vortex. So it's like you have this thing and you put all the things that you like inside this thing, and when you're aligned to it, you get it. You're in your vortex, you're aligned, you're flowing, you feel good. Sometimes if you jump the gun and you kind of tell that person that like I want a relationship or like here's what I want, you're pulling them out of theirs. So,
I think it's all about timing though. Like I think you have to know, like, if she's, whoever's asking this clearly wants a relationship and is clearly ready for a relationship and wants to be in a committed relationship. Maybe she like wants, I don't know, like just wants something established. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the timing of everything is obviously like huge, right? Like,
what if he's not
you have to
ready?
let things,
But what if
right.
he's like, listen, I like you a lot too. I really, really do, and I want to work towards something, but like I'm not ready right now. What do you
Well, then you guys have a conversation about it. But at least he knows where you stand. You know where he stands, and that way you know, like, okay, he told me that he needs a little bit of time. Cool. And then you know that you give him a little bit of time, and then if you guys ever revisit the conversation, then you know, and you're not just sitting there wasting your time. Because what if he like will never? What the fuck does ready mean? Like, it just like, I get it, but honestly, like, again, I think we overcomplicate it. I think it's very fucking simple. I think if somebody wants to be in your life, they will make sure that they are going to be there.
I agree.
And I think that, if you've been dating somebody for a while, and that while is relative, because, that can mean something different to everybody, and you are ready for a relationship and you're ready for that next step. And if you vocalize that, I think his response will tell you everything you need
I
to know.
agree. I agree completely. Sometimes you don't even have to say things, and their energy or the way they respond through actions gives you
Yeah.
what you need to
But I
know.
think with this, I think you do have to say
I don't
something.
know. I don't know.
Because you don't just fall into, like, I think I'm old, I'm so not old school in so many things, but I'm old school in the sense of, like, I want someone to ask me to be their girlfriend. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm not just gonna start calling you my boyfriend.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's why I'm like,
That's what I
don't
mean.
jump the gun. I don't think you need to jump the gun. I don't think you need to like force a situation too, because like sometimes our anxious behaviors make us act. We try to jump ahead,
Yeah. Yeah.
staying in the flow of where you are now and allowing it to happen for you. If we're talking about like 8 months, a year has gone by and you guys are like not official yet and you haven't had that conversation, then yes, I would suggest bringing it up. But I also think there's like it feels so special when like maybe you don't say something, but like you set your boundaries for yourself, and that person comes to you because like, oh, I didn't force that, I didn't try to control the
Totally.
situation.
I think neither are right or wrong. Like, I think that probably feels just so
Yeah,
aligned if it happens that
yeah,
way. But then I also think there's nothing wrong with having a
I
conversation.
agree. I also like I brought it up before in the past too with some people where it's like
Yeah.
definitely with my ex I brought it up. I think I
So
did.
I wanted to say something with this last guy
Yeah,
towards the end. Like, I was like, I'm going nuts. Like, I need something. I need to know something. But that's when you know I was in the wrong fucking thing, because I was so scared to bring it up. I was so scared to talk about my feelings. And I was basically in a relationship with everything that included a relationship. However, whenever we did talk about that, it was like, I'm not talking to anybody else. You're the only person I'm talking to. Meanwhile, has a wife and girlfriend. Um, but then it was always like, but I have so much going on. Like, I just want to take things slow.
yeah,
None of that shit adds up. I'm sorry.
yeah,
None of that shit adds up.
yeah.
So it's like we're playing house, but but then God forbid we have a conversation about it. That doesn't feel right to me.
It's not.
Like then it like I feel like I am old school in that sense because I don't think that's right.
I mean, that's your answer though, right? It's like that's what I'm trying to say. Like maybe you don't bring it up, but you can tell by their energy, by the effort.
Totally.
You know, at the end of the day, this goes back to the red flags. Like you know. And yes, you can wait 2 more months and you can wait 6 more months and you can wait a year and I've done this but like you're gonna wait in it and it's gonna happen the way you know it's gonna happen. You know, like it's inevitable.
I know. I think it's all yeah. I just feel also it's like fuck, dude, with I don't know, it's so hard to say, right? But like with him, I was thinking about it so wrong and I had to get out of that to learn a lot of things, which is great. We all I mean, you know, if it's not love, it's a million fucking lessons. And one of the things I took from that was I was thinking about it so wrong. I was thinking about like, you know, I want to ask him what's going on here. I want to ask him what this is. No, I should have fucking said what I needed and what I wanted, but I didn't have that mindset shift that I have now. So moving forward, I will think about things very differently. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that the next guy I date, I'm going to be like, so I want to, no, absolutely not. I'm saying like, if you are in that position and you want to ask and you want to whatever, don't ask, tell, say, you know, that's all I'm saying.
The power, you're giving your power to him if you're asking versus, but also too, I really feel like it's so enjoyable to like sometimes like take a breath and take a second and like, let it happen for you. Cause like, what if it's like right around the corner and you're stressing about something that you don't need to stress about, you know?
Yeah.
So anyways, I think that's it. I have a quote that I wrote down. I was going to make a TikTok about it that I wanted to read it because it's so good. It was on Jay Shetty's podcast. He said, healthy things feel good after, unhealthy things feel good before.
Oof. Yeah. He's so woke. He's so great.
So woke. But can you imagine dating someone who's so woke? I would be like, I feel like I'd be doing things wrong all the time. Like, would they be like, oh, you responded in a trauma response? Like you.
I feel like it's like dating a therapist,
that's
right? It's
really like dating me. That's how I speak to people. I'm like, that was an emotional trauma response.
No, literally, the night that I wanted to bring up to this last guy that like I had eliminated my roster, Emily and I were together in Miami. Because as you guys know, we're in a very complicated long distance relationship. And we were drinking, but like I wasn't drunk yet. And I told him, right? Like I said, like, oh, like, you know, my roster's kind of like dying down or whatever. And then like I didn't get the reaction I wanted. Red flag. And then I was like, you know what? I'm never gonna speak to him again. And Emily's like, Lisa, you are not being emotionally mature right now. You need to tap into your emotional maturity. Is that being like? And then all night long, I was like, am I being emotional? Like I just like kept going back to it, and I swear now I think about that all the time.
Well, it's a good way to respond because like, what if he came to you and was like, let's say a new guy because he's tainted, but like a new guy came to you and he's like, I never want to speak to you again because you didn't respond the way that I wanted you to. I'd be like, you're a walking red flag.
No, literally. And I didn't say that to him, but I was like, I was going to show that via my actions.
No, you were like, I'm not going to talk to him for like maybe 3 days. Is that the best decision?
Maybe not. God, should have known then. We should have known then. Literally. I love this. I deadass felt like we were just FaceTiming. I know. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys next time.
I think I'm going to put a question box on our Bitches Love Life Instagram story so we can like read your actual questions, more questions, and like talk about it. I think it's fun.
Love it. Okay. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, bitches.
Bye, bitches.